this is Lela Becker, and I'm Elizabeth Halliday-Reynolds. And today we're going to talk to you in our moment of bliss about spring. In Ayurveda, it's called kapha season.
Elizabeth, what is kapha season?
Traditionally, it's spring. So the weather is turning from cold and dry to warmer, but it's still cold, right? So it's cold and wet. Kapha's slow moving. Even though the sun is out and we think of, oh, it's warm and I should have all this energy, when we come into spring, a lot of times we are surprised of our lack of energy. We still can't wake up, even though it's suddenly brighter outside, and we remember in the summer how you could just spring out of bed. But in kapha season, you're a little more lethargic. Your body hasn't woken up from the winter slumber, so to speak.
I hear you on that. How can I get out of this kapha phase?
Right. So in Ayurveda, a lot of our holistic formulas for dealing with energy, or just the whole mind, body, spirit, would be yoga practices, how you treat your body, the temperature of water you bathe in, and food. Food is medicine.
So what kind of foods would you recommend?
Right, okay, so let's think about what kapha really means. It means oily, cold, heavy, stable, viscous. Think of slowness, viscous, like oil, how it's slow. Dense and smooth. Those are kapha qualities. So if you think of your food, you want to eat opposite, right? You don't want dense cheese, oily, lots of olive oil. You don't want to eat that stuff because those are just going to slow you down, slow your digestion down. You won't be able to eliminate properly. So when summer comes, you're still slow, right? So food qualities.
So you were looking towards like salads and maybe pineapples. And
you don't. You go, well, you don't want, so you want to go for pungent, which is spicy. People who can handle jalapenos, raw onions, raw garlic, that's pungent. Bitter, spinach, some kale, the bitter greens, and astringent. And actually spinach falls in the astringent category. But you think of your foods as you're looking for those qualities in your food. Spicy, to get things flowing. Think about when you eat a jalapeno, what happens? You start...
Good point.
Your sinuses start flowing, but that eliminates that congestion.
Good point.
So if your dosha, which everyone is made up of elements of kapha, vata, and pitta, we all have combinations of that in our bodies. If your primary dosha is kapha, then this eating like this is really going to be helpful.
Very good point. And also probably drinking lots of water, of course.
To detoxify.
To detoxify.
Hey, Lela, let's talk a little bit more about detoxing. Because I think you can do stuff for the skin as well as the body.
That is so true. I can tell you a little bit first about the skin. Once a week, it's really good to treat your skin to an herbal steam. And in this kapha season, a really great blend of herbs is lavender, lemongrass, chamomile, and red clover. So if you get a pot, place the herbs in it and boil the water, throw a blanket over your head or a towel and allow your face to absorb that wonderful steam. That's a great way to detoxify your skin during this season.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then, of course, detoxifying your body is so important.
Right. So when we talk about body work, I know in Bowen work, there's some poses to help start detoxifying. Not poses, excuse me. In Bowen work, there's some points to start detoxifying the body. A deep tissue massage can help push toxins out of the body. We talked about the importance of drinking lots of water. Again, that's going to help things flow and keep moving. We have a steam tent here at Bliss that you can add on to your session.
Can't wait to try that.
Quite lovely. But then, think a minute about food. If you cannot digest your food properly and eliminate it, those nutrients aren't getting into your cells. So you're not going to have that healthy skin growing from the inside out, right?
That is true.
So some of the things that you can do and is recommended in Ayurveda is in the spring is when you might do a cleanse. And we have a product here called Supreme Cleanse. Some people like this route, but you can also do a fast as a cleanse. Now, we often recommend that people talk to their doctors about fasting. They know their
Absolutely.
own constitution.
Absolutely.
If you know your dosha, like you know your constitution. I'm Pitta. I don't do good for days at a time fasting, and I might fast with juice. But it is recommended in the spring is when you would do a fast.
That sounds great.
Mm-hmm. What happens to the skin?
Well, like you said, oil is one of the major components of a kapha season. So if you do have oily skin, I have some great products, and there's other products out there, but you might want to take something like a clay mask, and that will absorb the oil in your skin. Also, maybe do an astringent twice a day is really good, like in the morning and in the night. And some really great homemade astringents can be apple cider vinegar mixed with a little bit of warm water. And also my favorite is neem tea, and then you just dab it on your face. And those can really help get rid of some of the excess oil that your body is producing during this season.
How do you make neem tea?
Well, if you're here in Morgantown, you can go down to the co-op and just get cut neem leaf and steep it yourself.
Nice.
Other than that, that's the only way I know.
So I heard you say apple cider vinegar because that's astringent.
Right.
What's
right.
lemon? Lemon's sour. So does that too drying?
No, actually, lemon's actually more moisturizing, which is really good for people who don't have extremely oily skin. So you might want to think about yogurt and lemon, mixing them together, so you get sort of a soft with a cut of astringent. So if you don't have that much oily skin, you might go for that recipe. Also, honey is very antibacterial and anti-inflammatory. So if you wanted to do a honey mask, we sell royal icing, which is made out of honey here at Bliss. That also helps your skin set back to its normal sebum release. So
pH balance.
pH balance.
Oh, I liked how you said, cutting the yogurt with lemon, because you bring up a good point about, I said cheese. You really want to try to avoid a lot of cheesies, and it's really dairy in kapha season. But you can still have your yogurt if you thin it with water.
Good point.
Right, so you might make a smoothie
That's a good point.
with a fruit that falls in this category,
Right.
and there's what I would think of pomegranate fruits. You could use pomegranate juice and yogurt, and that takes away the thickness, the denseness of the dairy.
That's a great point.
Makes sense, huh?
Yeah, it's awesome. Thank you so much for telling me about that. And thank you guys for joining us for our moment of bliss this month. See you next time.
Namaste.
Namaste.